How does God view homosexuality? This question has become more common as people search for understanding and clarity in their lives and faith. It's a sensitive and deeply personal issue that affects families, friendships, and communities. First, let's start with God's design for relationships as described in the Bible. In the book of Genesis, we see that God created humanity in His image, creating both male and female with unique, complementary roles. The Bible presents marriage as a union between a man and a woman, intended to reflect the love and commitment between Christ and the Church. This model is meant to show humanity the path toward the deepest kind of intimacy and unity. However, God understands the complexities of human experience. We live in a broken and imperfect world, where every person faces challenges, questions, and struggles. The Bible acknowledges that people will have different experiences, and it doesn't ignore the fact that some individuals may feel same-sex attraction. The Bible's message is rooted in love, calling every person to seek God and walk in a way that aligns with His purpose, even when that journey involves difficult choices or inner conflict. God views each person as precious and valued. It's essential to understand that the Bible's message on this topic is not one of condemnation or rejection. Instead, it's about God's desire to guide each of us toward wholeness and purpose. Jesus showed us God's heart by reaching out to those who felt judged, isolated, or unworthy. He embraced them, loved them, and invited them into a relationship where they could find healing and full transformation. For those who experience same-sex attraction, it's important to know that God's love is not limited by our struggles. His love reaches to the deepest parts of who we are, and He understands every challenge we face. Romans 8 verses 38 to 39 reminds us that nothing can separate us from the love of God. However, we must strive to walk in line with the original plan of the Creator and Designer Himself. Although God sees beyond labels and embraces us as His beloved children, it is our duty to surrender to His intentions for us. So what does it mean to follow God's guidance if someone is wrestling with same-sex attraction? It means choosing to surrender our struggles to God, inviting Him to help us walk in His ways. The Christian life is a journey toward holiness, where we seek to align our desires with God's heart. This can be challenging, but God never expects us to do it alone. He promises to be with us, to give us strength, and to offer forgiveness and grace every step of the way. People sometimes ask, is it wrong to feel this way? Here's where understanding the difference between attraction and action becomes important. Attraction itself isn't sinful. Feelings come and go, and we all have thoughts that may not align with God's will. What matters is how we choose to respond. God calls us to live in a way that honors Him, even if it means making sacrifices or difficult choices. He doesn't ignore our struggles. He walks with us through them. It's also important to know that facing this challenge doesn't make anyone less loved or valued by God. The church is called to be a place of compassion, grace, and truth. While holding on to biblical teachings, we're also called to love, support, and uplift one another. We are all broken people seeking healing, and no one's journey is free from struggles. True Christian love means walking alongside each other without judgment, encouraging one another to break free from sin and live in perfect freedom. For those who feel isolated or misunderstood, seeking support from trusted, compassionate Christian counselors, mentors, or support groups can be invaluable. Talking about these struggles in a safe environment allows individuals to feel seen and understood. We aren't meant to bear our burdens alone, and God often uses the community of believers to bring healing, hope, and encouragement. God's view on sexuality is part of a larger picture of His call to holiness. He asks every believer, regardless of their specific struggles, to pursue a life that reflects His character. Whether our challenges involve anger, pride, jealousy, or sexuality, the goal is the same: to let God transform us from the inside out. We don't become perfect overnight, but each step we take in faith brings us closer to the person God created us to be. One thing that stands out in the Bible is that Jesus never turned anyone away. He met people where they were, offering them both love and an invitation to follow Him. Jesus saw beyond their struggles and spoke to their hearts, calling them to a life that honored God. This invitation remains open to everyone, regardless of their struggles. God calls us into a relationship with Him where we can find true peace, purpose, and fulfillment, even in the midst of our questions and challenges. If you're wrestling with this question, know that you are not alone. God's grace is available to you, and He sees the full picture of your life. He understands the weight of your struggles, and He doesn't turn away from you. On the contrary, he invites you to bring your burdens to him, to trust him, and to let him guide you. Jesus said in Matthew 11 verse 28, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." That promise is for everyone, and it includes you. So, how does God view homosexuality? With love, compassion, and a desire to draw every person closer to him. His call is not one of judgment but of transformation, where we become more like him. God offers strength to overcome, grace to forgive, and the power to live in a way that reflects his love. No matter what we face, God is always near, ready to help us walk in truth and love. Remember, you are deeply loved by God. Your life has purpose, and God's plan for you is good. In him, there is always hope, healing, and a future filled with his holiness and peace. If you need more life-changing content, subscribe, like, and share this video. And don't forget to activate the notifications button. Thanks for watching.